Welcome to Sound Leadership with DJ, the podcast that delivers deep into the world of leadership. If you're passionate about learning from the brightest minds in the field, you are in the right place. Each episode, DJ embarks on an inspiring journey alongside successful leaders, unraveling their secrets behind their achievements. From their early beginnings to their current roles, he explores the unique path they've traveled to reach their present status, diving into their biggest challenges and pivotal lessons and gaining invaluable tips for aspiring leaders like you and me. Join us as we sit down with CEOs, entrepreneurs, community leaders, and more, capturing their experiences and insights. Whether you're an experienced leader seeking to sharpen your skills or a newcomer embarking on your own leadership journey, Sound Leadership with DJ has something for you. This is the place for you to be. Stay connected with us on his social media pages, LinkedIn and YouTube at Sound Leadership with DJ, where we not only share updates, but also provide additional content and behind the scenes. And don't forget, you can listen to this podcast on various platforms, including Apple Music, Alexa, iHeartRadio, and more. Just search for Sound Leadership with DJ. Hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode. Well, buckle up and prepare to be inspired, motivated, and empowered to become the best leader you can be. Let's dive into the world of leadership together. Folks, this is a temporary takeover. My name is Dr. Pete, and I am your host for this wonderful, pivotal episode. I am an Army veteran and have 30 plus years in healthcare. I am currently a healthcare administrator and a professor. Welcome to the 10th episode of Sound Leadership with DJ, where we are celebrating the 10th episode. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the legend himself, DJ. What's going on, DJ? What's good?
You really trying to take my job?
No, I'm just here to support my brother.
Listen, I subscribed. I said, listen, guy, I need to be on his podcast, man. Thank you for doing this for me. Thank you for hosting this takeover. And you know, I'm blessed to be here. So it's a little different sitting in the guest seat, but the show is yours, man. Lead us through. I'm excited to be here.
Well, man, you get to see how it feels to sit on the other side, man. You know, I mean, you're a strong leader yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background and your leadership experience.
Hey,
let the people know.
Well, as everybody know, right, my name is DJ, but my actual name is Demetrius. I am a healthcare leader. I started out in healthcare and in leadership at a very young age. I started off in healthcare at the age of 18. I was a CNA and took over my first group home as a team lead when I was 19, right, for a company in Michigan. From there, I worked my way up, became a licensed practical nurse, dived into leadership as being a charge nurse, wanted more leadership. I was hungry for more leadership. And from there, I became a registered nurse. As a registered nurse, worked in various leadership roles from unit manager, assistant director of nursing to director of nursing. Once I finally got that dream job, I thought, which was the director of nursing role, I then switched over and became an administrator, right? I wanted to do more. I saw a need to do more. So I became an administrator. It was then there that I, really started to craft and hone my leadership skill because I was no longer over just one department, right? Just over nursing. I became over the whole company, the whole organization, the whole shebang, right? And I just continued to grow and lead from there. But that's my journey in a nutshell, right? Into leadership.
Wow. We have similar backgrounds. You were a nurse. I started out as a combat medic in the Army and then became a respiratory therapist. So I have done respiratory therapy in all facets of healthcare, probably with the exception of hyperbaric. I never delved into the hyperbaric portion, and then I delved into the life of operations and managing a huge facility. Where I manage a facility now, 179 bed with over 150 employees.
Wow.
So I know the feeling of how to transition from being a clinician into an operator, a CEO, if you will,
yes.
of a small hospital. That's no easy feat. How were you able to maintain that and grow? Because it's two different worlds, you know. Not
Yeah.
every clinician can be a leader,
Yeah.
you know. And now you've gone from being a director of nursing, which is a
Yes.
strong leader in and of itself, to being now the leader over the entire gamut. That means you were over not only health, but maintenance, human resources, activities director, social services, right? There's about 14 different departments there.
Yeah.
MDS, business office manager. Now you over the entire gamut. How did that go for you?
It's I love to tell people that I am a nurse by trade, and I love all things nursing. But I think one of the things that I had a great example of growing up was my father. I never saw him work for anybody, and and what that mean is, right, he's always been business mindset, and he instilled that into me as a young child, right. And when I got into healthcare, I realized that, for what it's worth, healthcare is really a business, right? I got into nursing because I wanted to save people. I love saving people. I thought it was what I saw on TV. But when I got into it, I saw that, hey, this is really a business. And I said, okay, how do I marry the two? So throughout my career, right, I climbed that leadership journey. But what I've always saw was, once again, as a clinician, I reported to somebody on the operational side of things. And I said, that's really what I want to do. So I go back to, I'm a nurse by default because that's kind of what I got into, but I love the operation side of things. So what I did to really sharpen my skills is I went back to school and got my MBA in healthcare leadership, healthcare management, right? And what that did was allow me to marry my already strong leadership skills, right, with the hard skills of the MBA. So I was able to learn the financials a little bit more in depth, right? Learning the three financial statements, right? Learning, sharpening my business acumen, right? My strategic acumen, right? And marry those two. So I believe that makes me the best leader because I understand both. I understand if I pull a dollar from here operational, that I'm ultimately pulling a dollar from the clinical side of things. So I understand both. And I use that knowledge to really guide and develop the organization's strategic direction.
Right, right. Well said. And you also have this company now that you also do. I don't mean to plug that in, but man, you all things quality. Quality assurance, performance improvement. You're
Yeah.
the mastermind behind helping organizations master their productivity and
Yeah.
improve their processes so that they can have good surveys and ultimately provide quality care to their constituents, their residents. Right?
Yes. So a little bit more about me, and thank you. I'll take the shameless plug, right? So I know this is the leadership
My bad,
podcast.
man. This is all about highlighting you.
So a little bit of the shameless plug, but I'll do it. So a little bit about me, right? I have my master's degree in nursing and nursing informatics, actually. So that's all
Wow.
EMR, all big data, right? I mentioned I had that MBA in healthcare leadership, but I also have my Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, which is project management. I am a certified nurse executive, and my most recent certification is a QAPI specialist, right? Certified in QAPI. So I love project management. I love data, right? Data tells us something. Data tells us everything. And let's relate it to the terms of leadership, right? Retention is data, right? We can work with our HR to get that retention data and then formulate a QAPI plan to improve our retention, right? We have to formulate different strategies to improve our retention or, improve our quality metrics, right? And that's what leaders do, right? We look at the data, we evaluate the data, and we use it to make a strategic plan that we should be sharing with the organization to move our organization forward. So when you talk about QAPI and you talk about moving organizations forward, that's what I love to do, but it's rooted in the heart of leadership, right? If I'm not grounded as a leader, I can't assist others to move it forward. I can't serve others to move it forward if I'm not
Right.
grounded as a leader.
Right. And Quappy is not about putting a band-aid. See, a
No.
lot of times, you get into these organizations or situations arise, and all we do is put a band-aid on it. Quappy is about improving those process so that it is how you run your business. Not just stopping the bleeding, but preventing the bleeding. from happening again. So really thank you for your service to making that happen. That is a much needed skill. Even myself, running an organization, for a long time, copy was my weakest point. I knew I
Mm-hmm.
needed to do it. I knew I wanted to do it. I knew I had to do it because it is mandated, but didn't know how.
Yes.
What do you do first? But now you get all the data and the numbers and the metrics from every department. Then you set small goals, and move the bar a little bit.
And
So,
you,
so thank you
you,
for that. I'm sorry for the shameless plug, but I needed the folks to know that there's another world outside of that.
yeah.
So thank you for
And
sharing that.
And what you talked about, right, is setting small goals. But, as a leader, I believe that we have to set smart goals. Like, they have to be goals, whether small or large, but we have to set smart goals, right? And when we set smart goals as a leader and rope our team in, we can achieve those goals. And that's what leaders do, right? We rope our team in, we surround ourselves with other people to help us achieve our goals. Sometimes it's a personal goal, sometimes it's a professional goal. But as a leader, you have to know when to rope others in to help you achieve those goals. Me and you were talking earlier offline, and what we talked about is, right, leaders have to enlist help. You can't do everything by yourself. You won't be successful trying to do everything by yourself. And that's one of the traits I believe leaders have to have. They have to have the ability to pull people in and share their vision with them to achieve a shared goal.
Yeah, they have to be inspiring. Recently, I solicited the help of my team with our finances. I actually showed them the finances. I showed them the op margins. I showed them everything. I said, look, I can't do this by myself. I certainly need your buy in. This is where we are. This is where we need to be. I'm open to suggestions. What are your suggestions? And so when you do that, you create this engagement and you allow them to show their expertise in their particular department to
Yeah.
assist you to providing the performance and the productivity that's necessary for successful business. Honestly, that kind of, nursing homes is a business too.
All day
It's,
long.
it's a mutualistic relationship. We're serving the community, but at the same time, those that are in the community are also working in a nursing home, and we're serving them also by paying them. So it's a mutualistic relationship. But thank you for sharing that. So tell us about your recent success with sound leadership.
Man, I am so blessed to be hosting Sound Leadership in this 10th episode, man. And I'm blessed to have you here. I met you kind of through this Sound Leadership journey, right? I was reaching
Yeah, you
out to
did.
team leaders such as yourself, such as Bob Lane, the president of the college, right?
Ooh,
The
that was a good one.
administrative college, right? That's huge, right? And some of the other leaders that I had on, Cassandra Fuller, Danielle Jackson, various leaders that I've had on. And, you know, it's sound leadership started with me just wanting to host a podcast on leadership. I love leadership. I'm passionate about leadership. And throughout my time of hosting sound leadership, I got to meet so many people and learn that sound leadership, this podcast, has inspired so many people just to step out on faith, right? Because I don't have a financial backing. It's just me. I do the editing, I do the shooting, I do the contacting, I do a little bit of everything, right? And I've learned that I love doing it. But when you talk about the success of sound leadership, we've connected with so many people, and sound leadership has grown so much. Even right, we're celebrating our 10th episode, but I look back to when I started this and how I started this without a background, right, without the little things I have here on the site now. I've grown so much, from then and now, and that's what leadership is, right? It's about growth, and this podcast would be a hypocrite if we did not continue to grow. So, I have some things I like to share with the audience because we have grown, we have done tremendous things as a podcast, and I'm excited just to be able to share this with everyone. That sound leadership has really just taken a road of itself, right? Many of us know that sound leadership started with a YouTube, started on LinkedIn, started on Facebook, but episode, and this will pop up. So I'm excited just to share that with the audience that, hey, sound leadership continues to grow, and we embody that leadership of theory of growth and expansion and education, right? And we do this by connecting with people that say, hey, DJ, this is how you can continue to grow, and this is how you continue to spread the message and lead others.
Nice. You know, I did that myself. I said, "Hey Siri," and it took me right to Sound Leadership with DJ with Dr. Pete, and I was
Yes.
like, "Wow, here I am, right there." I was like, "Wow." I tried it out. I mean, you texted me and told me, and I was like, "Nah."
Yeah.
And then I tried. I was like, "Look at this thing right there." So that's pretty cool. So, what has been the impact that this podcast provide to the listeners? How has it been beneficial to them?
What I get from people when I talk to people is they're just inspired, right? Whether they're an inspiring leader or an existing leader, right? They're inspired. And I think what really makes this leadership podcast different, right? By default, as I always say, I'm a registered nurse, but this podcast doesn't focus just on healthcare leaders, right? We've had leaders who are entrepreneurs in real estate. We've had leaders who are SLP, leaders that run a print shop, right? Danielle Jackson, she runs a print shop, right? We had Jeremy Blanks, our very first host, right? United States Marine Corps veteran, right? Who works for Lockheed Martin now as a security something, 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 right? Right. But he leads people. So this group is able to this podcast is able to connect with multiple people on different levels, and that's what I pride myself on as we continue to move sound leadership forward. It's just being able to connect with people, and as I tell people, right, if I can inspire one person, sound leadership has done its job, right? When it's done, we've inspired one person, whether it's to start a website, start a professional coaching business, to write your own ebook, to just take that next step and enter leadership. Then Sound Leadership with DJ has done its job.
Nice, nice. So I know you got SMK Medical Consulting, and you got the Sound Leadership with DJ that's doing really well. And we're at this 10th episode. I'm having a great time hosting for you. But don't you have an ebook out?
Well, I do. I do. I love all things leadership.
Mm.
And with loving all things leadership, I've taken everything. It really speaks to leadership. It talks about active listening. It talks about empathy. It talks about just a little bit of everything, right? And I think that's important in leadership, right? We forget about active listening. We forget about emotional intelligence, right? There's so much that we forget about when we think about leadership because we're so focused on our day, right? So this book that I wrote talks about leading with authenticity and transparency, right? Being your true self as you show up to work, right? Being transparent and building trust with your team, right? Leading the culture, because leaders lead the culture. I think sometimes they forget that they actually lead the culture, right? So this leadership book, it's a quick read. It's only 40 something pages. I do a recap at the end of the book, and then I provide actual case studies at the end of the book that talks about leadership, right? And these are case studies that I found online, and I kind of summarize and place them in this book. But it's going to start to drive and discuss how other leadership lead their company. So you see, I have this one here. Alan, the CEO of Ford, Enduro, the CEO of PepsiCo, right? It's leadership is multifaceted, and I wanted to highlight that when we lead an effective team, the organization benefits as a whole. So this ebook is available online. It is available in this podcast description. It sends you to a link like this. This links collects your information, and then from there, it also it will send you an email, and that email will contain access to the ebook that you can download. Right, so it's actually an ebook and a foot book that you have access to.
Awesome. Is it free?
It is free. It is 100% free. It is something that Sound Leadership is doing to give back to its listeners. I think that's a great call out. So this is not something that you have to pay for. All you have to do is register for the ebook, and the ebook is yours. The ebook is interactive. You can click right into it. It takes you right to the page. This is the purpose of the book. I talk about why leadership matters, and then why becoming a better leader is necessary. Right? Qualities of a good leader: must be a visionary, must be empathetic, authentic, communicative, resilient, and adaptable, right? I talk about the importance of self-awareness. I can't stress that enough, right? Leaders
Sounds,
must be self-aware. If you're
sounds
not
like
self-aware, you're doing a disservice.
sounds like servant leadership.
Dean.
It
I
does.
love to characterize myself as a servant leader, but also as a transformational leader, right? Because I have to give my team the tools to do what they need to do. If I'm not giving my team the tools, how can I expect them to succeed? And I'm
Right.
also a leader who is not going to hold my team back. So what that means is I'm going to encourage you to go to school. I'm going to encourage you to apply for that position, whether it's in my company or not, right? I want to see you grow and succeed, because when you grow and succeed, who benefits? The
Right. Right.
community at large, your family, right, benefits the most.
You were talking about active listening in your book, and I remember doing a drill with my department heads. I stood them all up, and I made them go into a circle, but they couldn't face each other in a circle, so they were all facing out. And I said, "There's 14 you of in here. I want you each to count. Choose a number. You have to count to 14, but you can't talk on top of each other. If you talk on top of each other, we start all over." So this drill kind of emphasizing the leader's ability to read the room, to listen with intent, and not be quick to respond. So what I found was you get people go one, two, three, trying to speed, and then they'll talk on top of each other. See, now you've got to wait. You got to listen. One, two, and then and it kind of teaches them. The idea is to teach you how to listen actively and not be so
Yes.
quick to respond. So that's a good little drill that I like to do with my staff.
And we talk about active listening in the book, right? As you stated, right? And active listening means giving one's full attention to the speaker and understanding their message. Feedback is the information given to the speaker about how their message was received and understood. So active listening is twofold. It's not just taking in information, but then processing that information. And the key thing I want to talk about, right, is active listening is crucial to resolving conflict. What you just stated was key.
Absolutely.
If we're both are talking, how are we resolving the conflict? And that's what the ebook talks about: resolving conflict, active listening, emotional intelligence. Right? Those are key things that leaders must possess and understand in order to be an effective leader.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So this podcast here is available on popular streaming platforms like Amazon, Apple Music, iHeart. You can reach a wider audience that way. DJ, your new book is out and it's doing well. Tell us how to subscribe on your platform. What do they need to do to get on your platforms?
Yeah, they can find Sound Leadership with DJ, as you mentioned, right, all over the place. And if they want to contact me directly, they can reach out to me via my LinkedIn page and drop me a PM, and that's how we can connect to get on Sound Leadership with DJ. If they want to connect me via email, my email is dkirk, so DKIRK at smkmedical.com. They can reach out to me that way and say, "Hey, I was inspired by your podcast. I want to get on your podcast," or just pick my brain and ask anything. Of course, shameless plug, download the ebook. The ebook has links in it where you can reach me directly. You can book for a free consultation. As you may know, I do professional coaching, so they can reach me for professional coaching. You get 15 minutes free evaluation. And they can also listen to the podcast by just scanning the inside of the book. So the book is digital, right? Once they download it, they can do whatever they want with it. Scan it, take you right to Sound Leadership with DJ. It also takes you to our various different social media platforms as well.
Awesome. So, guys, Ladies, please download the ebook and take advantage of this valuable leadership guidance it offers. We thank DJ for doing that and supporting the leadership community for young and inspiring leaders or leaders that just need a little reminder, so to speak. So that's a great thing to do. So thank you for your continued support. But let me tell you about me. I'm Dr. P. You can reach me on all my different platforms. Instagram is I'm underscore Dr. underscore Pete. On LinkedIn, it's Peterson Merville actually. On Facebook, it's I am Dr. Pete. On YouTube, I have a great channel called Real Talk with Dr. Pete, where we delve into the nitty gritty of all things successful, goal setting, achievement, and leadership skills. So you can find me on I'm Dr. Pete on YouTube channel, and it is growing. So thank you for your continued support, and tune in to Sound Leadership with DJ for more future episodes. It's all you now, buddy.
Listen, Dr. Pete, I can't say enough about what you've done for me. I think that it's beneficial to share leadership with the world, and I am blessed to have met you. I am blessed to have have you host this episode. And really just move the needle forward. So I wanted to share something with everyone, and Dr. Pete don't know I'm about to do this, so
Oh,
he,
man.
he has no idea I'm about to do this. But so he talked about it a little bit, but we're not gonna let him just gloss over it. So give me a minute to get it set up for him, because we ain't about to. We're not just gonna let him
Look
gloss
at
over
you
that.
doing your thing. You taking over as host? You taking over already?
No, listen, not at all, not at all. I just listen. I just we need the world must know.
Oh
Here we
man!
go. So tell us about it again.
Wow! Look at that. You got my screen up. Yeah,
Tell us.
I talk about real conversations. Time hacks, controlling your controllables, goal setting, smart goals. Um, um, po- how to have confidence. How to battle the mind and achievement. What do we do? What are the steps we need to do to battle the mind and achievement? I got one on there called Leaf on the River. When you're battling with anxiety or depression, put your issue on there like a leaf on the river and watch it float away. If you hold on to that leaf, you're going to fall, but you recognize it's there, but you're going to just let it go. It's a mindset drill. It's a mindfulness drill that's well known actually. So, it's growing. I got about 24 episodes on there right now, 24 videos, and I am actually growing. I mean, a week ago I only had 2 subscribers, and
I know
now
the struggle.
it's just growing, and people are
Yeah,
enjoying it, and they're actually wanting more.
yeah.
So I find myself asking people, okay, what kind of content you want to hear? What all you want to what you want to listen to now? I got one on emotional intelligence on there that's done very well.
Okay.
So, real talk with Dr. Pete is just simple. Let's just have a real conversation about all things success and goal orienting, goal achievement, and leadership skills. What does that look like? Conflict resolution. What does that look like? You know, Setting goals for yourself and for your team. What does that look like? Fear of failure, fear of success. All those different things that we battle. How do you get unstuck when you're stuck? You meet the max in your career. What do you do now? I have a person that a client that I'm going to start working with, and I met her last week, and she was introduced to me by one that I'm mentoring, and she said she needs help because she doesn't know what to do. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know what to do? Well, my daughter is now leaving the house, and I don't know. I have an MBA in management, but I don't know what to do. And so what happened to this lady, and this is something that happens to a lot of us, identity is found in others rather than creating our own identity. Her identity was in her children.
Yep.
And now that her children is gone, it's not just empty nesting. It's now what do I do with myself? What am I actually good at?
Yep.
I spent a lifetime focused on what my children were good at and promoting their success. But now I don't know where I need to go. What do I do? We had a long conversation, and we're helping her through that, and this is a common problem.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a common problem. People, or you get into a career and you find that it's not for you, and now you're stuck. That's where I was. I mean, not that respiratory therapy was not for me, but I had reached a plateau.
Yeah.
And so I had to make a decision. I did a personality test, and I embarked on a new journey. I figured out what I was good at.
Wow.
And that was talking and being a leader. I love to lead. And so I not so much love to lead. I like to see people succeed. Genuinely. I love to see people succeed. And that's how Real Talk came about. And many of the things that I do, the mentoring that I do, it came about out of a dream that I want to see people reach their destiny and impact social change.
Wow.
And so I really enjoy that, and I'm really hopeful that she's going to come out on top. And again, you can lead a horse to water. With all the coaching in the world,
Yep.
you've got to have your own want to. You have to have your own desire and passion to get where you want to go. But I'm sure going to put some fire in you and help
Well,
you along the way.
well, man, I appreciate you coming down and hosting this for me, and I hope the guests, the viewers, they got something out of this episode, right? And if it's not anything else, it is believe in yourself and move the needle forward. Do not hesitate and wait for others. As I did with this podcast, right? I believed in myself and I moved the needle forward. And if I connect with one person and they believe in themselves and move the needle forward, I've done what I needed to do. But Dr. P, thank you, and thank you to the viewers for joining us here on Sound Leadership. We hope that you gained valuable insights and inspirations from our conversation with top leaders. Today it happened to be myself with the great assistance of Dr. Pete. If you've enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to like and follow us on our social media pages for more great content. You can follow us on YouTube and LinkedIn at Sound Leadership with DJ. And don't forget our big announcement today. You can tune into our podcast on your favorite platforms. We're portable now, including Apple Music, Alexa, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Simply search for Sound Leadership with DJ and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on our latest episodes. And if you're so inclined, you can follow me at Your Healthcare Consultant. I want you to remember this. Leadership is a journey. It's not a destination. Keep striving to learn and grow and never give up on your goals. I talked about that today. Goal setting. We set smart goals and we achieve them. It's a part of your strategic plan, whether it's professional or personal. From everyone at Sound Leadership, we wish you all the best on your leadership journey, and I look forward to having you join us again soon for more great, insightful discussions on Sound Leadership with DJ.